Hello there. Acting overly familiar can be considered a violation of emotional boundaries, which are the limits we set to protect our feelings, ensuring that we do not feel disrespectful, overwhelmed, or taken advantages of. Here is how the concept of acting overly familiar fits into emotional boundaries and how apply it. Understanding overfamiliarity. Overfamiliarity occurs when someone assumes level of intimacy or closeness that hasn't been established or mutually agreed upon. This might include sharing personal or sensitive information too quickly, using nicknames or pet names without consent, assuming that they can give unsolicited advice or critique, overstepping professional or social rules, for example, colleagues acting like close friends, making assumption about our emotional availability. While this behavior may be well intentioned, they can often feel invasive or disrespectful to the person on the receiving end if emotional boundaries aren't aligned. Emotional boundaries application. To maintain emotional boundaries in situations involving overfamiliarity, here are a few steps you can take. Recognize your discomfort. Notice when you feel uncomfortable, irritated, or overwhelmed by someone's familiarity. This is often a sign that your emotional boundaries are being crossed. Your feelings are valid and worth addressing. Communicate clearly, politely, but firmly. Express your boundaries. For example, if someone shares personal details too quickly or asks about yours, you might say, I am not comfortable discussing that right now. This helps set limits without damaging the relationship. Use neutral language. When addressing overfamiliarity behavior, aim to use I statements that focus on how you feel rather than accusing the other person. For example, I feel more comfortable if we keep things professional instead of you are being too personal. Redirect conversations. If a conversations become overfamiliar, you can subtly redirect it back to safer, more appropriate topics. For example, change the subject or bring the focus back to shared interests that aren't personal. Set clear expectation. Early in new relationships, especially professional ones, set expectations for how you want to interact. This can prevent misunderstandings. For example, in a workplace setting, clarify what kind of language or interactions is appropriate. Assess emotional readiness. It is essential to assess how emotionally prepared you are to contact with someone at a deeper level. If you aren't ready or don't feel mutual emotional trust, maintain a respectful distance until a strong bond is naturally built. Why overfamiliarity violates boundaries? Unsolicited is intimacy, one reason. When someone assumes emotional closeness that isn't established, it can feel like a loss of control. The other one is lack of mutual trust. Intimacy and emotional sharing are built over time. Over familiarity rush this process, undermining the foundation of mutual respect and trust. Pressure to exchange and match with the person acting over familiarity. You may feel obligated to meet the other person's level of emotional openness or familiarity, which can be draining or uncomfortable. Incorporating emotional boundaries help ensure that your connections, whether professional or personal, are respected, balanced, and genuinely comfortable for all parties involved.